Hello fellow designers, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ruth. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to make a very simple, beginner-friendly 360-degree ball dress for a 1-year-old. If you are new into sewing, or you are even just a mom who is enthusiastic and wants to learn how to sew, this tutorial is for you. You'll find it useful. Come along, let's make this. So for this ball dress, firstly we'll be cutting out the upper bodies, okay, and the upper bodies for this 1-year-old is 6 inches, but I'll be adding 1.5 inch, okay, for joining at the shoulder and also for joining the bodies to the flay, the 360-degree flay. So I ended up with 7.5. So you want to mark a straight mark where you'll be starting and also your ending point. Once I have that, now I'll go ahead and draft out my shoulder. The shoulder for the little child is 10 inches. Since my fabric is folded into two, I'll be dividing that 10 inches by 2, which will give me 5. I imputed my 5 inches. Then I'll also be adding my shoulder slope. Because it's the little child, I'm making use of the shoulder slope of 2.5. Okay. Now you want to also impute that your shoulder measurement downwards, okay, which is 5 inches. So at that 5 inches mark, now you're going to be imputing your bust circumference divided by 4. Okay, so whatever your bust circumference is, divided by 4 and impute it at that chest line. All right, that 5 inches we came out down, just like you see me do. Impute your chest line plus your sewing allowance. I'll also be imputing that same measurement at the waist circumference. Now to create your armhole, the 5 inches shoulder mark, impute it as well at the chest line. Okay, so just like you see me, then you also want to connect it completely at that chest line, just like you see me do now, and also connect a straight line from your chest line to your shoulder. Now to impute your armhole, since it's for a little child, you don't really need too much calculation. Just you can use your curve ruler or your hand and just connect it from the chest line to the shoulder, just like you see me do. To complete the shoulder slope, you want to come down by 1 inches, just like you see me do. Then connect that 1 inches from your shoulder slope mark to the 1 inches mark as seen. So once you're done drafting this out, now just go ahead and cut out the front bodies. Okay, so we'll be using the same front bodies to cut out the back. So I'll go ahead now to impute the neckline, but I won't be cutting it out. Okay, the neckline width is 2 inches and the depth is 2.5. So just make use of your curve ruler to connect this point, or you can even make use of your freehand method to connect it if you know you can do that without the curve ruler. So I'll just leave this like this because of the style we are making. I'm not going to be cutting it out. All right, then I'll go ahead now and use this to cut out the back. For the back, I'm going to be cutting it at the lace, just like you see I've cut this out already. So I'll just show you what I did. I placed the front on the back. I cut it. Before cutting it out, I imputed the 1 inch I'll be making use of for the zipper allowance. All right, then I just cut out the neckline. The neckline, the width remains the same, but the depth was 1.5 inches. Okay, so the neckline, it varies whatever design you want to make with yours. All right, so I'll be opening this up now so that I can alter it to get the design I want to make on the front of the upper bodies. Okay, so I just went ahead and impute my neckline on the other side as well, so it will be visible on the two sides. So now I want to make use of the lace self edge to form a design like a v-neck design. Okay, so what you're seeing me doing now is just I'm looking for a way to make sure that the self edge sits perfectly on that round neckline by the time I want to cut it out, and at the same time it overlaps at the middle point. I press the satin so that it can help me form a green line. Okay, so I'm trying to place this at that green line, making sure that it's like maybe 1 inch after that green line, and at the same time it sits perfectly at the neckline. So once I'm able to achieve this, I'm just going to flip it to the other side so I can see what I'm cutting. Then I'll go ahead now and cut it out just like you see me do. Okay, so once I'm done cutting this, I'm also going to be using it to cut the other side, but you want to make sure that this sits perfectly and it overlaps. Just if you're making this exact design, you just want to make sure that it sits perfectly just like you see me do. Okay, so I'll take this off now. I'm now placing it right side facing the right side of the other self edge. Okay, I want to cut out the other part. You want to make sure that the part you are using, the self edge aligns. Okay, can you see that I'm placing it at the down part? So I've looked for the part that aligns with the self edge, and I just went ahead and cut this out. So now I've been able to cut out the two parts that I need for the front bodice. Alright, so I'll be placing this now on my upper bodice to see how it fits and to make sure that it does not cover the neckline. Can you see the beauty I'm trying to achieve? So once I'm done now, I'll go ahead now and cut out that neckline since I've gotten what I need. I'll also be making use of the satin to cut out the lining as well. Then I'll go ahead and turn just the neckline and the neckline of the back as well. To get the circumference of the 360 peplum we are cutting, you want to make use of the radius divided by 6.28 method. Okay, so now radius is 22, we'll be dividing it by 6.28. Once I was done, I got 3.5. So now the flare length is 11 inches, the radius will be 3.5, and I'll be adding allowance of 1.5 inch. Once I was done, I calculated all this and I got 16 inches. I've cut this out already, but I'm going to be showing you the exact way I did it. So firstly, to cut out your flare, you want to fold your fabric into 4. Fold it by 2 like you see, then fold it again so that you can have it in 4 folds. Now I'll be replacing that radius I've cut out earlier to show you how to do this. Let's assume I'm cutting this from the beginning. Remember that all our calculation fell at 16, so that means you'll be cutting it 16 inches like you see I'm illustrating. Once you've chopped it out, just go ahead and cut it out. You'll also be cutting your radius of 3.5 inches out as well. Once you're done, cut out the radius. Once you're done, go ahead and measure out the circumference to be sure you have the circumference needed for the total waist circumference plus your zipper allowance. Okay, so once you're done as well, I also went out and cut out the exact shape on my satin fabric which I'll be using for the lining. So I'll be turning this satin now with the lace. Okay, so the right side of the lace will be facing the right side of the satin, so I'll be turning it by half of an inch at the hem because I want this to be neatly finished. I want everything to look neat. All right, so once I was done, this is what I achieved. I didn't turn the zipper part, if you take notes. All right, so go ahead now and repeat the same thing on the upper bodice. For the upper bodice as well, please turn only the neckline if you want to follow the same method I did, because I ended up losing the zipper allowance parts later on. So repeat the same thing on the other side, the right side of the lace facing the right side of your satin fabric. Repeat the same thing on the front as well, the right side of the front facing the right side of your satin, then sew only the neckline. So once I was done, this is what I have. I've coupled it as well, but I'll be showing you how I did it. So to couple it now, you want to place the right side of your fabric for the front facing the right side of the fabric of the back. Okay, you'll be sewing fabric to fabric, lining to lining. Hold it down by the allowance you added. For mine, my sewing allowance is just 1 inch alone, so it's that same 1 inch I used in holding them together. So now we'll be coupling the upper bodice and the 360 flare together. Now if you notice, I added a little bit of interface at the lace part, and that's because the lace I'm working with has a little bit of velvet design on it, so it's stretching. That's why I just added it there, so that once I'm adding my zipper, it does not move around. So you want to go ahead and fold it into 2, notch the middle, fold it again into 4, notch the middle. This will help you to make sure that once you're placing your flare on your upper bodice, it is even. Okay, if there's any little pleats that you'll be making, your pleats are even, so you can see my notches there. So I'll go ahead now and place my upper bodice, but remember that before you place your upper bodice, you want to make sure that your circumference is complete. Okay, so go ahead now and pin the middle part of the flare to the middle part of your upper bodice, then repeat the same thing at the other sides too as well. So I'm just pinning this down the beginning of one end to the beginning of the upper bodice, the ending of one end to the ending of the upper bodice as well. Then make sure that your notches are at the right places. Once you achieve this, just go ahead and sew. Okay, so you'll be sewing down by half of an inch as well. The zipper part has not been worked on. So this same thing that we did on this part, if you notice, I'm joining just the fabric alone, the fabric of the flare to the fabric of the upper body. So I'll repeat the same thing now. The lining of the flare, I'm folding it into 2, I notched it, fold it into 4 again and notch it, just like we did to the flay, the fabric flay. Okay, so once you've gotten all your notches, go ahead now and place the flay lining to the lining of the upper bodice as well. So you want to make sure that the middle point of the flay is facing the middle point of your lining. So once you're done, this is what it looks like. Okay, so now we're fixing our zipper. To fix your zipper, you want to make sure that you'll be closing a little part of the flay, okay, because our zipper won't be getting to the hem part. So now this is what I want to do. At the waist point, I'm going to match them evenly to make sure that it is even. So once I've gotten that, I'll just pin that down to help me to achieve what I want. So I want to go ahead now and continue pinning this down. So the same way I pin it down on the fabric is the same way I'm going to pin it down at the lining. Make sure that your fabric meets at the same point and your lining starts at the same point as well. So I'll be running down what I've sewn down by 1 inch. Okay, so I decided to close this down by 7 inches. This same 7 inches I'm marking here is the same 7 inches I'll be marking on the fabric as well. All right, remember we are doing this because we are sewing it to complete all our sewings neatly. So once you're done, just go take it to your sewing machine and sew it down by your sewing allowance. Mine is 1 inch. I've done this and I've also fixed my zipper, and this is what we have. Can you see how neat it looks? The inside is neat and even the outside is very neat. So you can see this is very easy and simple. Okay, if you've watched this tutorial to this point and you love it, please give this tutorial video a thumbs up. Right, let's fix our shoulder. Let's couple the shoulder. So to couple your shoulder, you want to pick the front bodice. Okay, so interswitch it at the shoulder of the back. So you open up the back, the fabric apart, the lining apart. So you sandwich the shoulder of the front in between the fabric of the back and the lining of the back. So you'll be repeating the same thing on the other side as well. Just pick the front, sandwich it neatly. You can even pin this down before taking it down to your sewing machine just to make sure it is well done. So once I was done, this is what it looks like. You can see how neat it looks. Okay, so the remaining part now left is our armhole. To complete your armhole, you want to make sure that you cut out all excesses, all right, and remeasure your armhole. Even before you complete it, make sure you also remeasure your waist circumference, the shoulder, the bust circumference. Make sure everything is intact, okay, before going ahead to close this up. So for the armhole, because all other sewings have been well enclosed, if you remember, it's just the armhole that is left. So for the armhole, I'm going to make use of a little bit of stripe to pipe the armhole, so to also make sure it is well finished. So you see, I'm trying to retake all my measurements to make sure that the armhole circumference I left there is even, the shoulder is even, the waist circumference, the bust circumference, everything is perfect. I'll just go ahead now and pipe the armhole and show you what it looks like once I'm done. So I'm done and this is what we've achieved. Okay, the inside of this dress was neatly finished, even the outside was neatly finished. Like I love to say, children are always after their comfort, so you don't want to make anything that will be making them uncomfortable to rock their beautiful outfits. Okay, so you make sure that all sewings are well enclosed, and for you to achieve this, you want to make sure that your measurements are accurate, so you don't have to start losing up anything. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you found it valuable. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you, and thank you so much for helping this channel grow. Turn on post notification bell, drop a lovely comment. If you have any questions as well, drop a comment, drop your question in the comment section and I'll definitely be answering you. Bye, see you on the next one.